been raining on and off all morning at Louvain. So Philip, Terence and myself decided we were going to take the tar road to Prince Albert. The rest of the group had left earlier to do some other crazy ride, but we only left when it was vacate time. And by that time the rain had eased up a bit. Philip was busy working on his bike trying to sort something out, and as I wanted to do the 2 kilometers of dirt road before it started raining again, I said I would leave and go slowly and Philip could catch up with me. Terence had left just behind me to make sure I was okay along this dirt road because it was pretty wet and quite slippery in places. We made it safely to the gate at the main road and decided to wait there for Philip. 20 minutes later, he had still not arrived, so Terence went back to the accommodation to look for him. 10 minutes later, he got back saying that Philip was not at the accommodation at Louvain and he had not passed him along the way. So I then tried to phone Philip, and thankfully he answered with, "Where are you guys?" So I told him we were waiting at the main gate. He said he was almost at Oudtshoorn by this time, and then we realized that there must be a different exit road to the one that we had taken to the main gate. He said he had come onto the tar where there was a car on fire on the main road. It wasn't long before we saw the car which was on fire on the right-hand side of the road, and the fire department was in attendance there. And then we noticed that there was also this road coming in on the left, so that was obviously the road that Philip had taken. We felt very sorry for the people standing on the side of the road with all their luggage that obviously were travelling in the car that caught on fire. We could see there was some heavy weather up ahead, and of course it wasn't long and we were riding in quite heavy rain again. Here we are sitting having coffee in Terence's boardroom. It rained on and off all the way from Oudtshoorn until we got to the other side of Baviaanskloof. De Rust is a small village at the entry of the Klein Karoo in South Africa. It's located at the foot of the Swartberg mountain range, and it's on the N12 between Oudtshoorn and Beaufort West. Long before the village of De Rust was established, the area had been inhabited by the indigenous Sand people, and when settlers started moving in from the Cape, it became a favourite place to stop over and rest their oxen near a mountain spring, and this was before they would tackle the challenging route through the Baviaanskloof Gorge. The farm where De Rust is now situated became the property of a chap called Martinus Becker in 1812. He was a wealthy, large property owner. The well-known Petrus Johannes Meyring, who Baviaanskloof was named after, came to De Rust on horseback all the way from Worcester. He got work as a foreman on Martinus Becker's farm, and when Martinus died, he married the widow Becker, and in 1832 he became the owner of De Rust and its neighbouring farms. Thus the town of De Rust, which literally means the rest in Dutch, was established in 1900 on a portion of the farm that had belonged to Meyring before his death. Baviaanskloof was of course named after him because he had persistently campaigned for a road through the Poort, and this led to its official opening on the 3rd of March 1858. Baviaanskloof is 25 kilometers long, and the road crisscrosses the Groot River 25 times by means of various drifts, each individually named with an interesting story behind every name. I'll cover a few of these stories in this video. A fun fact was that during the official opening of Baviaanskloof, the champagne bottle only broke on the third attempt. Baviaanskloof was of course another pass that was supervised by the engineer Thomas Bain. Here he invented a rock splitting technique by creating a bonfire over the rocks and then shattering the heated rocks with buckets of cold water. This technique saved both time and money, and it also preserved a lot of the natural beauty of the pass. The stone walls that you can see here on the left hand side were apparently built by 480 migrant workers from the former Ciskei and Transkei. Baviaanskloof was only tarred for the first time between 1966 and 1971. Somewhere along this road was a house where two spinsters lived. With the death of one of them, the other one buried her in the dining room. The survivor then disappeared without any trace. Baviaanskloof has been damaged by flash floods on dozens of occasions. So although the original route plotted by Bain remains, the road itself has been constructed many times. Kloof Drift, or Villains Ravine Drift, has a well-hidden ravine on the eastern side of it, and there's a legend that layabouts, who were in Afrikaans called skelms, used to live in this ravine, and some of them stole Petrus Maring's sheep. So this is where the ravine got its name from. Vein Drift, or Aloe Drift, was so called because on the northern side of this drift there's beautiful mountain aloes which bloom from July to September, and in the days of the traders these men used to stop and boil the sap, which they then sold as a most sought after medicine.
Wow, what a beautiful scenery, eh? Jeez. These mountains and everything. Stunning.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you stuck here?
Yeah, just waiting for you. Yeah, what stunning scenery, eh? Wow. Yeah, I thought it said Swartberg, but this is not Swartberg Pass, is it? Stunning, eh? Wow. Very scenic. I'll film you a bit.
Nooiensboom drift, or Maiden's Tree drift, originated from the two big kiepersol trees that used to grow on either side of the road, with their branches intertwining overhead.
Okay, a lot of rain here. Look how muddy the waters are. All the way.
Just past Double Adrift, there's a corner which is now known as Double Adrift Sadrai. There's a rock formation that resembles a pointing finger. There was once an accident where a man and his wife drowned, and it was said, look, the finger is pointing to where they drowned because they'd been driving on a Sunday, which was not allowed in those days. During the Great Ostrich Feather Slump of 1914, an insolvent local man committed suicide by hanging himself from the finger rock.
We're doing this one because if you come up Carter Pass, you'll miss this one. We're doing Carter Pass on Saturday, so at least we got this one too.
In 1929, a famous Afrikaans author called Langenhoven chiseled the name Harry into a rock at this spot. This was a monument to the imaginary elephant from his story Harry op die treinspoor, or Harry on the railway line. Harry Stone was declared a national monument on the 3rd of August 1971.
That the Rus does look like a quaint town. A lot nicer than Oudtshoorn, eh?
Witperdedrift, or White Horses Drift, got its name from the drowning of 2 white horses during the 1915 flood. Although the old toll house has vanished, its name still remains. And the wagon drift was named this because several wagons were washed away here. Because of the rain, we missed stopping at the waterfall in Meyringspoort, which it's quite famous for, but we decided that we'd make a point of riding through Meyringspoort again another time when it's not raining, and we also wanted to visit the scenic little town of De Rust. On the left is a cement-lined pool with a little pump house next to it. In the 1990s, this was known as Buswatertjie because buses frequently stopped here to get water. Witfontein Drift got its name from a crystal clear stream of water that had its source high up in the mountains and flowed down the slopes of the ravine and entered into the Groot River here. this drift there was enough space for the wagoner to outspan his team of oxen. At Baviaanskloof, a wagon loaded with dynamite is believed to have travelled at such a speed over the bumpy old Boer road that its freight exploded spontaneously at this ford. The wagon and mule team did not survive, but miraculously the driver did. This was the third toll house in the pass. The second one had been ruined when the road was rebuilt. Despite the rain, Baviaanskloof was so lovely to ride through. The majestic cliffs were glistening in the rain, and thankfully there wasn't too much traffic, so we really enjoyed it. The rain stopped at the end of Baviaanskloof, but then the wind started. The whole trip through the valley to Prince Albert was incredibly windy, and the temperature dropped down to 12 degrees. Thankfully, we were still wearing our rain jackets, which kept the wind and the rain out, so we arrived warm and dry, unlike some of the others from our group that were absolutely soaked through. Our accommodation in Prince Albert was set in a lovely little garden and was very comfortable. The owners were also very hospitable, and we were in walking distance to the town. Our whole group walked. On the first night we walked to the hotel, and the second night we went to a restaurant called the Angry Chef and had a great time all together. So this is where we're parking our bikes at Traveller's Rest. Having a rest here for 2 days after terrible wind today. Hello. Yeah, good. And yours?
Very interesting.
Yeah. Did you guys do the Swartberg pass? Did you come up the dirt road pass? No.
No, we did the one because...
Did you go through Baviaanskloof?
Yes.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
hey? So
It's my
stunning.
favourite
Yeah.
sport.
Did you do it on the bike or in the...
It was dark. So I did a
Oh.
lot in mud. I had a
Oh,
door,
yeah.
all my stuff was all muddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I had to get onto the road, and then there was a section where they thought it was going to be.
Dirt, and it wasn't, it was all tarred, yeah.
But
Oh,
it
wow.
doesn't matter because the weather wasn't.
Yeah, it was freezing,
I
hey?
did a lot.
Yeah, that wind coming through
Yeah.
the valley was astronomical.